send me an email. I get a meter, email for every meter that goes out, and when it comes back on, so they'll be using that information.
And what about the data? When I meant data, I meant the homeowner's data. Like, how accurate would the data be to inform the right person? Like, what percentage of the data of homeowners matches the meter? For
It should be,
example,
it should be 100%.
so who are they call though? This calls someone? This calls
No,
someone?
this is not an IVR system. They'll have to actually access this via an app or a web page. This is not a call out system.
Oh,
Yeah, we haven't had that yet.
so we have to go on an app to find out.
Yeah, or just click on the web page. We'll have, I can see our web page and it says power outage update, and they can just click on that.
Hugh, one other question.
Hold on one second. Okay, Councilman Carn, go right ahead.
If, you know, and residents are gonna ask me the same thing at the end of the day. If we spend this $167,000, it's not bad technology. It's not the worst idea I ever heard come up here. But again, they're gonna ask me, how is spending this money gonna get my lights turned on any faster? And will this get residents' lights turned on any faster?
It's basically just better information to our citizens. That's
Okay.
basically it. It's not going to speed up the power restoration process because we already know where the power's out. So.
Okay. Well, with that case, you know, I consider it if we're going to do this for the seniors with a 10% discount. Otherwise, I'm not. I'm inclined not to support it if, well, that's where I'm at.
I had the opportunity to talk with Mayor Holberg from Griffin about their use of the system, and he was very happy with it because, you know, a lot of times when the power goes out, folks go to Facebook first and
Yep.
they say, my power's out. Is anyone else's out? And so I think with, just as iNotify has been somewhat of a culture change and we've had to keep on reinforcing that we want people to report things in a certain method, you know, there's been adoption of that, and I think that this kind of information is very useful for folks to recognize either it's out entirely on my block or I'm alone, and will probably help our 911 operators not get as many calls,
Exactly.
and others who may reach out to after hours numbers or even if it's during the day, et cetera. But this is a budgeted item. This is something that was planned for in the budget. Yeah. All right. I don't have any other questions. Is there a motion?
I move to approve, and I was going to say the same thing, Mayor, that when the lights go out, a lot of people call other people. They call the 911 number, and the non-emergency 911 number, it's not 911 actually, and we don't need additional confusion at that point. You know, people know when the power is hopefully going to put on, and I like what you said about that we should add that
Right.
suggested time. And actually, my experience has been that when you guys quote a suggested time for come back, we usually come back within that time or earlier. Mm-hmm. So I move to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilman Allen. Any discussion?
I'd like to offer a friendly amendment to add the senior discount on electric rates for seniors 65 and over at an additional 10% discount.
I'm not amending my motion. Let's vote for it on the motion and see what happens.
All right, any other
But I
discussion?
support what Joe says. I just don't think these two things need to be coupled, just like I didn't think last meeting things needed to be coupled.
All right, so the motion is to approve you've advanced it on me, Ms. Brown. Never mind. It's to approve the use of this system Any other further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's council members Clay, Allen, and Gay in favor. Any opposed?
Opposed.
Councilman Carn is opposed. The motion passes. Item 9A is consideration of and action on a request for approval to pay. Ms. Brown, you're, okay. You're jumping ahead of me there. All right. Consideration of and action on a request for approval to pay Cardno for the College Park Golf Course Brownfield cleanup invoice in the amount of $10,942.42. This is a budgeted item. Questions for Ms. Hall Garrison, Councilman Clay?
I just moved to approve. This is a no-brainer.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Carn. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Item 9B is a motion for a consideration of an action on a 15% salary increase for sworn fire personnel.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Gay.
Discussion.
And hold on one second. Hold on. Thank you, Councilman Gay, for the motion. Councilman Clay, you have seconded that.
Correct.
And go ahead with discussion, Councilman Carn.
Just so that we're clear, City Manager, this does include the police chief, fire chief. Is that correct?
Fire chief, yes.
Yeah, we're in the fire, yes, fire.
Fire chief.
Department.
All sworn. Yep.
Okay.
Sworn officers we talked about.
Chief, do we have the deputy chief position still, or is it vacant, or where is it at?
Right now, it's still in NeoGov, waiting to be approved, I think by either the city manager or finance director.
Althea, is the deputy chief position budgeted? Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm assuming it includes that position if it's filled. Is that right, Jackson? Additionally, the deputy chief, right?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
we're
I
not
just
trying to
wanna
leave
make sure.
anybody out.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Any other questions? Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. So, Dr. Baker's item's been removed. Is that correct, Mr. Myers?
Yes, I guess it
Okay.
has been.
Okay.
It'd be 9A.
Well, 9A was the card no.
That is 9B.
9B.
9B, you made it.
Okay. I'm sorry. I think it was mislabeled on
Yeah, but
the screen. Okay. So, apologies for that. So we've got consideration of an action. Dr. Baker's item is still on the agenda? Yes. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see a 9B at all.
It'd be
no,
9A,
I added it to
under
the
new
agenda,
business.
Sir,
To the
I
agenda.
added it to,
Yeah,
to the agenda.
there's some
All right.
misnumbering happening, but in your packet is 9A.
Okay, all right.
It is consideration of an action on a request for approval for a one-time incentive bonus for city employees. Dr. Baker,
Motion to approve.
is there a second?
That's,
Well, I want to hear
Okay,
'em.
Councilman Clay is seconded. Go right ahead, Dr. Baker.
Yes, ma'am, Mayor and Council, ma'am and sir, Mayor and Council. This item is to request a one-time bonus for all city employees, $1,500 for full-time employees and $750 for part-time employees.
Questions for Dr. Baker? Councilman Clay?
no, I think it's something we should and want to do. I'm happy.
When does staff see this? Before the end of the year, or when?
Yes, the plan is to distribute the checks on December 14th at the holiday luncheon.
All right, that's how we used to do it.
So this
All
will
right.
be for all staff, all people on staff as of what date?
They have to be on board prior to November 1st or October
By
31st.
November 1st.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you anticipate folks coming on board before that date, right?
We have 2 more orientations scheduled, yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Councilman Allen?
No, my questions are answered.
Councilman Gay?
I have no question.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah,
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, that is unanimous. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
City Attorney's report?
Nothing this evening, ma'am.
City Manager's report?
I just wanted to brag a little bit. We've been working very hard with EPD, and we passed the sanitary sewer. They were here this week, and I'm so happy that, when I got it, we were behind when I was the Public Works Director. Worked hard. We worked with Melissa, and they came down here, and the only thing we got is to buy some paint and paint one of our lift stations, and I'm real happy about that. Also happy about that we still are, was happy that it started. We still get our fuel suppliers. We still get $2.39 a gallon for fuel, which is a great, great deal. I'm so happy with that. And also $2.51 for diesel that we get. So we get bulk fuel. I'm still happy about that. Also, the 3907 Main Street, that C-Store review down the street here. They finally got their building permits are ready, and we're waiting for them to pay us $11,169 to get started down there. But we're all clear to go. Another thing is the 3400 West John Wesley. The corner grill is turned in to do the parking lot. So they want to do a blacktop parking lot back there. We're working on some storm drains. So those are the happy thoughts. I seen an email come out today about the Gateway Complex, and we're going to try and come up with. I talked to out there, and we're going to have a meeting to see what we can do about activities that are going on out there at the complex without talking about it. And I talked to Woodward Academy, and they told me today that they're happy that nothing's happened there in 3 years without getting into detail.
All right, thank you, sir. Report of Mayor and Council, Councilman Clay.
Yeah, I only have one item, and that is that I'd like to make sure that we move forward as soon as we can to get the second monitor up in the community room, public safety community room. It was out when I had my ward meeting about a month ago, and I'm looking forward in October when I have my next ward meeting to it being fully functional. And I would hope that between IT and police and city manager and anybody else who needs to make it happen, that it shouldn't take 2 months to get that monitor working. I'm sure that other people would like to be using it for their meetings outside of just me for my council meeting, or for my ward meeting. So that's all I had.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Carn?
All right. IT, I know I talked about my camera there at the corner there at Frontage Road, so I'm hoping that's in the process. And I got a question for you about something. Well, it's not. I want to talk to you about it. I found a potential pot of money in terms of public funding that we could possibly get our hands on if we can work a little clerical magic, I guess you could say. I'm going to talk to you about that and see if it's a possibility. I talked to Althea about it, and I want us to see if we can figure something out to be able to get it. Couple of things I just wanted to kind of touch on. I look around this city, and we probably got vehicles that drive around this city dozens of times every day in terms of not just police, public works, fire, power, utilities, whatever have you. There are a few things that I see that are probably painfully obvious to everybody else that drives around this city. I'll give you one example. There's a sign in front of the racetrack gas station on Camp Creek it's not on Camp Creek, it's on our entrance road there that drives directly into the Delta Employees parking lot. The sign has been knocked down, bent over to this degree from the ground for over a month. And I say to myself, there's absolutely no way that everybody driving this city in terms of staff hadn't seen that sign down. And there are other things along those lines that I see that just, for one reason or another, are not getting done. And I know everybody has a lot on their plate. Well, this is a city, and you're going to have a lot on your plate. But there's no way in other cities something like that would be down that long in that high profile of an area along the biggest corridor that we have. And I just, again, city manager, I know there's a lot on you, and this is not on you because I know you didn't ask for this. We kind of recruited you into this. But at the same time, I'm just expecting better. I'm expecting that type of stuff to be taken care of. It's not a high-cost thing, and it's been sitting there over a month. And at this point, it's going on towards 2 months. So simple stuff like that, that there's no way people don't see it, and staff doesn't see it. So I want us to try to do better there. I guess on the good side, I saw Saturday around 2, I saw our GICC parking lot was completely packed, and there was a line coming out of, speaking of Camp Creek Parkway, there was a line at the entrance spilling out into Camp Creek Parkway, and that's always a good thing for us because that means we're packing them in, and I didn't know what was going on because I know they had the reptile thing, but I know it wasn't for that. But was that the Delta, or was that something else?
I thought you have to talk to the mayor to talk.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second here. I would ask Councilman Cardin that you not have a two-way conversation with Ms. Miller.
All right. Well, so was it? What was it?
Ms. Miller, if you'd like to come on down.
Good afternoon. We had Shoechella, which is a shoe show. This was the second tennis shoe show we had. They had about 800 people over on one day, and then the reptile show had about 7,000 people per day for 2 days. And then we had I think we had a breakfast over in the ballroom.
Okay, well, that explains it.
And we're getting ready for Chick-fil-A for the month of October.
All right. Well, it was full. I was glad to see that. I did go by the reptile show, and that was interesting. I'd never seen that many snakes and bugs and the whole nine. And Mercedes, you sure none of them got loose in there, right? All right. But that was I was glad to see that. And Mercedes, I think you're doing a great job over there. And as you know, my praise is not promiscuous. So. But, we're doing good in some aspects. We can do a whole lot better in others. I just want us to keep our eye on the ball and keep our eyes open when we see stuff that is obvious. Let's go on and get it fixed so we're looking better out here. I had a question for legal, but I guess I'll ask you that before we get out of here. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you, sir. Councilman Allen?
I just have a couple of things I'd like to note. Again, the Women's Club, Saturday, the 24th, from 3 to 5. 125 years, that's fantastic, and the celebration is well deserved. So everybody show up, and everybody show up at Eatin' Fresh. That place is fantastic. So Ann's done a good job.